Shh, come here. Hey, you come here. Guess what? Guess what?
I'm from another planet.
Bass consumes me, drum kicks they run through me. I can't do it on break beats, I rhyme fluid.
I don't give a fuck, man. Let's just get
it. Listen, here it is. We're gonna jump into it. It's Caepernick. This is like the fourth day after the whole event happened. He took a stand by sitting down. He pretty much explained his whole reason for doing so thoroughly, concisely, calmly after the game, didn't shy away from any questions, stood there at his locker for the whole entire time to the last interviewer. And yet and still here we are 4 days later, and it's still pretty much the number one topic on social media, news, CNN or local media, it seems like, sports, talk radio. Why do you feel that it's been such a lightning rod?
Because it's factual. That's why it's causing an issue.
What do you mean?
The issues do exist. And what's happening is that it's coming to a head because we're in such a, time where information is so readily available, and we're getting all this information. We're watching these things happen, and we're watching, just as he said, not just the black and white thing. People are committing crimes. They're making statements. They're doing everything X, Y, and Z, killing people, and no one is being held accountable for it. And that's the part that gets me with this whole situation, is that he made that statement, and obviously, maybe the first thing on his mind was the police violence. And it's not just the police violence. It's not just a racial thing. There's a slew of things that are happening where people are not being punished for committing crimes. There is a Caucasian male that raped if I'm not mistaken, a Caucasian female on a college, in a college.
I think it's already happened, yeah.
Yeah, I think it already happened. He's about to be out of jail after serving 60 days for not allegedly raping a female on a college campus. He got 60 days. So the whole thing is that it's not just a black and white thing. Just as he mentioned also, you have a presidential candidate that, basically she did commit a crime having an illegal email server. You have another presidential candidate who is an outright racist. Okay. And once again, am I saying that he is a hate-filled David Duke racist? No. He may be racist because he's just ignorant, but racist is racist. Okay. It doesn't matter why he's racist. He is racist. These are your two main presidential candidates. And, one of those are probably going to be president of the United States. So there's a slew of issues that are happening, and he doesn't know any other way. This is the best way to bring attention to it. That's all it comes down to. And
I can tell it was well thought out.
Right. Yeah.
It was very strategic on his part. I'm pretty sure he looked at the NFL rules, the guidelines, to find out what could possibly happen as far as the backlash. I'm tired of people saying that, oh, well, you have freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but you're not free from repercussions and critique. Okay, so what? This is the point of taking a stance on any topic. You do it because you want to spark conversation. Now, I agree all of this is healthy. Me and you having this conversation right now is very healthy.
What it all comes down to, Mo? Protest is not a situation where I need you to feel comfortable about it. It's an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. So that's the whole part that's getting confused here. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's like, oh, well, he made me feel uncomfortable. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to jostle you. So you say, oh man, this thing that he's bringing attention to, let me
It's
do something
supposed to-
about it so that he can stop making me feel uncomfortable. That's what it's supposed to do.
It's supposed to force you to think.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Like you said, I had a conversation with some people the other day, and I was like, people do not think critically anymore in this country, in this world for the most part. They shy away from it. They're so much more comfortable with surrounding themselves with people who are like-minded. They shut themselves out from the rest of the world. They see it on TV and they think that's what it is. They think that black people, you go to the black neighborhood, chances are you're gonna get shot, robbed, whatever. But they've never really ventured outside their 20-mile long, town, for instance, in the middle of the Midwest or whatever the case may be. I know cats who in big cities who don't get outside the city. Yep. Kids in New York who stay in one borough, who don't venture outside. So
just to interrupt you, you made a perfect point. And I think we had this discussion the other day. I hate that because just like I tell people, I speak out, I speak about civil rights and black rights and all this stuff like that. And some people say, well, if you don't like it here, whoa. I love this country. Yeah. Okay. I love this country. I don't go to war for this country, whatever the case is. When the Olympics is on, I cheer for the United States for every single thing. I love this country, but it has issues. Okay. That's just like me saying that, I buy a house. I've lived in a house for 20 years and, a light fixture goes bad. And I say, you know what? I really hate the wiring of this house. Well, then why don't you just leave the house? How about I fix the wiring?
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not that I hate the country and it's the worst country in the world. I love this country and I would like to make it better. That's what the whole thing is. I would like the rights to be equal. Okay. Equal rights. That's what I want for everyone. And that's the thing is, it's like, if you say something negative, it's like, oh, well, you hate this country. No, I love this country, but there's some issues with this country. Once again, stop trying to make everyone unpatriotic, which, as you know, this is the most patriotic thing he could have done, which is, use his right to protest, okay, not just sit back and blindly accept something and pledge of allegiance to something that he doesn't believe is helping him or someone else.
Yeah, well, that's the, I don't know the Webster's dictionary version definition of patriotism, but I know my history and I know when that word was thrown around, this country, it was at a time when we were standing up against persecution from England. So, we were calling each other patriots for standing up for what we believed in, even though people in England were calling us traitors and deserters or treasonous, whatever you want to call it, But the micro of this.
You said the definition of what word?
Patriotism. Being a patriot.
Let's just look it up. Right. But keep going.
Okay, but basically what I'm saying is the micro of this whole situation is everybody. Like you said, we all are works in progress. It's like saying, you know what?
Interrupt you for 1 second. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Patriotism is an emotional attachment to a nation which an individual recognizes as their homeland. This attachment, also known as national feeling or national pride, can be viewed in terms of different features relating to one's own nation, including ethnic, culture, political, or historical aspects.
How do you think this is going to play out?
The whole thing is this is the whole thing that people don't realize. Once again, this is my biggest issue with this whole thing. He did what he did. He stepped back. He sat down. Okay. He didn't just step back, sit down, and that was the end of it. He gave a very, eloquent, fact-filled interview after the game.
Yeah.
Okay? He answered all the questions.
Yeah.
Okay? Pretty much all the questions that you could have about this.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so he made a statement. They asked him, what, do you want other people to join you? He almost cut the guy off and said, listen, I don't expect anybody else to do this because I understand people have a lot to lose by, protesting and doing what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't even asking for anybody else to do it. There was two things in the interview, real quick, that he said. Two things. One was, this is not about me. Okay? This is not about me. This is about people who don't have this platform to stand up and speak out about, you know, civil rights and things that are going wrong with this country. That's what this is about. And the second thing is that if anybody has questions that they want to ask me, fellow teammates or anything, they could come ask me, no problem. But I'm not asking anyone else to join me if they don't want to join me.
Yeah.
So he basically said, this is my thing, and it's not about my personal information. It's about this.
With all that being said,
To answer your question, do I think it's going to catch on? Maybe you'll see a few veterans that back him do it. But do I think that, you know, your second string guy or whatever the case is that's trying to get on the team is going to do it? I don't see that happening. It's up in the air, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes, honestly, I think these guys, they do their charity, and some of them, they're kind of just good on this stuff. You know what I mean? And well, I can't call it. I can't call whether you're going to see guys see it become a trend or not. But
yeah, it's multi-layered. It has to be. It's like a battle, like a real battle, right? And America's original sin, right? So it's like, in order to combat it, you have to fight it on all fronts. You have to have those people marching. You gotta have that. Not saying, because my thing is, I hate people who say, "Well, that ain't gonna work. We gotta do this. That ain't gonna work. We gotta do that." I mean,
well, hey, Mo, you know I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying exactly is about having this conversation. What I'm saying is, we have to have. It's enough of us to be able to do this on all fronts. Because, again, go back to history. When you had the movement back in the 60s, the 50s and 60s, what they did was they recognized that they had some people who were better off suited doing the sit-ins at the lunch counters, right? So you had your frontline troopers out there at the lunch counters disrupting everyday life. It's like, okay, Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? That can be somewhat like our version of something like that, right? But then you had your people in the legal field, in the courtrooms, like helping those who were arrested after being at the lunch counter to get them out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So, but now you had those who were in legislative block, like Thurgood Marshall and guys like that, who were actually in the courtroom, in the legislation, basically fighting for ways to put it down on paper and policies to help us out as well. I think we need to collectively understand, not bash dudes like Ronnie Harrison. Really, bro? The civil rights movement wouldn't happen without white people marching down the Costa Bridge in Selma with us. You feel me?
This is what I said the other day to you, and why, once again, I have so much of an issue with this. Is people that are coming out and saying for any reason that he's wrong for doing this.
Yeah.
He explained every single aspect of what he did after the fact and gave every bit of information. As far it's like he answered the questions before the questions even came. He answered the question regarding the military. Okay. Oh, well, it's a slap in the face for the military. No, it's not, because I've seen military people get out of the military and been slighted by the U.S. government. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing this.
Through the sewers like DOS effects, I rep the neck. Expect nothing less besides the best for me. What's my recipe? Some chief and Ciroc vodka. Go on, test me. I'm lethal with the Glock popper. Hard like granite, the soft music, I can't stand it. Hip hop bandits.
I'm from another planet.